Hi, my name is Lee Parker, and I live on Johns Island. My journey probably began in 2010 or 11. I wasn't feeling well, and I had been to several doctors, and they had all told me that my numbers were fine, that I was doing fine. My boys were in school at that time, and luckily, I had a friend that was telling me about a gynecologist that she had that was in integrative health, and I'd never heard of that. I'd always just went to Western medicine, and so I went there, and I sat and talked with her. We did all the test results, and I remember coming home and telling my husband that if she didn't tell me something was wrong, I was going to have a mental breakdown. When it started out, it was my thyroid and my hormones, and that alone helped me dramatically. She put me on bioidentical hormones, natural thyroid medication, and it made all the difference. Going forward, I knew that I only wanted to see functional medicine or integrative health doctors. Fast forward to 2012, my husband and I bought a business in North Carolina. So we moved from Daniel Island to King, North Carolina. I think the business is what caused me to get very sick. I didn't know what was wrong. I did find a functional medicine in Winston-Salem. I had adrenal fatigue, Epstein-Barr, and I still wasn't getting well. Then found out I had Lyme disease, heavy metals, and mold. My body was in a bad place. For years, I went to the doctor in Winston-Salem, and it basically helped me to get to, I'm trying to think what you would call it, just sort of living. But I wasn't getting better. It was almost like this every day. Diet, supplement, and IVs.
Okay.
And so I did a lot of high dose vitamin C, and it would just really make me sick. I tried that, and I just wasn't getting better. So in the summer of 21, I sat down with my husband and I said, I've got to find somewhere else to go. I said, because I'm not getting any better. I just knew that staying in North Carolina, I was not going to get the medical help that I needed. So that's what led me to Deeper Healing. We didn't want to move to Florida because it was so far away from our family and our business. So we moved to Charleston because we found Deeper Healing. I did a thorough internet search, and when I found Deeper Healing, I was so happy because I could be somewhere where I could get the help that I needed, but also not be too far away from my family and our business. And so let me back up to August of 24. I just woke up feeling bad. Something was different with my body. It wasn't just a normal flare, like Lyme flare. I knew something was wrong, but I didn't know what it was. We were in Europe at the time, and I thought maybe it's just jet lag, all the travel. Dealing with Lyme and mold, you have the chronic fatigue. So I just thought maybe I'm just so exhausted. It seemed like everything wasn't getting better even when I came home. When I walked into my house, it smelled awful. Like you could smell, it was so musty smelling. And I thought it was because we had kept the house closed up. And this is before I knew we had a mold problem. During that time, I didn't feel good. I was very tired, very emotional. My husband and I, we were not getting along at all. Every circumstance just sent me over the edge, which was really odd behavior for me. But I just could not reason, which led to having suicidal thoughts. It was so bad, honestly, I did not think it was the mold. Then I came to see Julie in January or February, and she did a mycotoxin test, and my mold was through the roof. And I was told by her and by the doctor that I had extensive mold and I needed to get out of the house. And so we went down to Florida for me to have a place to stay. We went back down there. Even though before I even started treatment, just coming out of that environment, like I couldn't use my arm, and my arm, I could start using it again because the mold. And my head started feeling better. I just started feeling better, even though I was still struggling. When you come out of a bad environment, it does help you tremendously physically and mentally and emotionally too. We came back to Charleston the 1st of May and stayed with a friend, and then I made an appointment with Leigh Ann. She was the first person that I saw when I come to Deeper Healing. And first thing I thought is she's very knowledgeable and she knows what she's talking about. She had even talked about doing different treatments that I had never even heard of. I started, and everything she told me to do worked. I mean, and I just like talking to her, not just for the physical part, but she really understood me, like emotionally, that when I went in there and I was in tears, like something's wrong with me, she was very sympathetic and compassionate too. I mean, and I just like talking to her, not just for the physical part, but she really understood me, like emotionally, that when I went in there in tears, like something's wrong with me, she was very sympathetic and compassionate too. She'd come check on me and make sure I was doing okay and take that extra time. She always, when she saw me, she'd come check on me and make sure I was doing okay and take that extra time.
So for somebody out there who is like, what is deeper healing? Like, how would you explain the difference to someone who doesn't know anything?
I always say they can fix whatever you have. That's what I tell them, because you go and they're going to figure it out. They're going to figure out what the root cause is. They're not going to Band-Aid it. I don't know, that's just what I tell people. Even yesterday, this lady that works with my husband was asking him questions. I have people from his work calling me, and she lives in Kingstree, but she said she's planning on coming down to Charleston to get help because she needs to know what's going on. And I'm like, you need to take that mycotoxin test. And when I think about that, I just think if you want to know what's wrong, you need to go to Deeper Healing.